So Ranjini, okay, so I have heard the concept of body positivity, and
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong, but it talks about loving your body, and it was a movement which started for all the plus size models, I think, in 1960s and 70s. But over time, this new concept of body neutrality developed. So, how is it different from body positivity? And could you just explain what body neutrality is and what it means?
Body positivity is accepting and loving yourself for the way you look, irrespective of how you look fat, thin, muscular, athletic, anything in between or more. So, it's about accepting yourself and loving yourself and telling yourself that you look beautiful, that you look perfect, no matter how you look. Body neutrality is more about accepting yourself, accepting your body for what it does, rather than loving it for the appearance. Okay, it's body neutrality is more about acknowledging and noticing the little things that your body does and loving yourself for it than making it all about appearance. It's also a way that you can, stay away from the self-hate. And body positivity makes you feel like you need to have a positive outlook on your looks all the time, but it's not possible. We feel guilty when we sometimes can't feel like we can't love ourselves for the way that we look. But body neutrality, it's more about working towards a place where we respect our bodies, and we don't have to tell ourselves that we look beautiful or perfect for us to, in order for us to love it.
So it's more about, I believe, functionality than the physical appearance of it. And I think that
Mhm.
it is very beautiful because that also promotes healthy living. It also promotes trying to eat the right thing and live
Mhm.
so that your body internally is very healthy and fit. It's and not obsessing about how it looks and every inch of body fat you gain or lose. So beyond obsession, it's about how you feel internally and how fit you feel internally. I think that's what body neutrality
Yes,
is.
absolutely. And I need to make this clear because we've obviously seen a lot of jokes circulating around fat bodies in this lockdown. You must have seen pictures of before and after the lockdown, wherein the after picture shows a person with a fat body, and it automatically implies that being fat is not cool or not okay. The thing I want to stress about is that many of us, okay, most of us aren't employed at the time. There's a whole global pandemic situation going on. Many of us aren't employed. Many of us have lost our jobs. Many of us can't see our families. Many of us are stuck at home with abusive people, not knowing how to get out of it. And many of us are dealing with physical and mental ailments. So it's okay to put on a couple kilos, but what's not okay is joking about it, right? It automatically implies that being fat is ugly and you associate it with a negative feeling, and it just makes it bad for everyone.
But from what you said, I just realized one thing is that body shaming has far bigger implications than just shaming somebody about their body. You are really affecting a person's self-esteem, their self-worth lowers. They can fall into pits of depression and anxiety. So in a way, it's a far bigger problem than just telling somebody to fix their weight or fix their the way they look. And I think we are committing a graver sin than just criticizing somebody's appearance when we body shame somebody. What do you think?
Yes. So the question we need to ask ourselves before body shaming somebody is it, what are we really doing? Is it helping anybody? Right? So, body shaming somebody doesn't do any good for anyone, right? So, the person that you're body shaming, essentially, if they don't have any body insecurities or mental illnesses or anxiety surrounding their body image, they're probably just going to hate you for you saying that, and they're just not going to do anything about it. They're just going to end up feeling bad for no reason at all. But if it's someone who already has body issues, or those people are on the fence, and you just there's just one trigger that you push them right over the edge, and they feel completely disgusted with themselves. And we've had studies show what it could possibly lead to, and the results they're like they're too scary to look at, right? It could lead to self harm. You don't know how powerful your words are. It could lead to somebody harming themselves physically, right? They could and they the person could end up, having a eating disorder,
Yeah.
right? If they're already depressed in if they're already depressed, you could just push them over the edge. They could do something drastic that could alter everything forever.
Correct. So, from what you said, that people who have been body shamed in the past, these are the people who get most affected by these comments. Anybody else who hasn't faced these issues in the past will not get affected. So, do you think it all comes down to the beliefs we are given as childhood when we are kids from our parents, the narratives our parents gave us when we are young children about our bodies, about our physical appearance?
Yes.
Do you think that the problem comes with parents and they should not uh, instill these negative beliefs in their child? What do you think?
So, first of all, when somebody is getting body shamed, that person needs to understand it's not themselves. It's mostly just not about themselves. It's always about the other person, their prejudices and their own insecurities that they're projecting onto the other person. That person could be someone who's grown up, idealizing the, societal norms of beauty and how a person should look. And that person could grow up and, end up being fat phobic. So they just basically, they need to ask themselves if they are genuinely concerned for the other person, because being obese, okay, so being body positive is not pro obesity. Okay, it's not pro obesity. They're not promoting obesity or showing that, being obese is good. The person should ask, though obesity can lead to a lot of health concerns, the person who's shaming needs to ask themselves if they're genuinely concerned about the other person. Like, more often than not, they're not concerned about the other person. They just can't take people who are fat, or they just can't take people who look different than what they have inside their heads, right? So people who grow up idealizing the societal norms of beauty, who have grown up, with parents that uh, give more focus to looks, right? There are parents who teach their children to look beautiful. They don't know what they're doing wrong, but they instill the wrong ideas in the children's heads, and that makes the children feel like they want to make it about looks when they grow up, right? So when children, irrespective of what the child looks like, you're supposed to instill only positive words in the child. Okay, so what the parents could do, if you feel like the child is going on a wrong path, as in eating really less, if you feel like the child could be getting an eating disorder, or if you just feel you don't have to be a parent of a body shaming victim to do the right thing, right? If you're a parent, you could possibly teach them what their bodies can do, what their bodies are capable of, and teach them about nutrition and fitness. It's mostly the mistake of the parents to, feed the child all kinds of junk, and the parents are the same people who body shame the children also sometimes,
Yeah.
right? At a very young age, you could teach the children, you could educate them on nutrition and fitness, and you can constantly reassure that they're doing a certain thing not because they will have to look thin, but because it makes them healthy. So also social media like plays a really huge part on all of this.
Yeah.
We've been having a lot of movements that are against the standard ideologies of beauty, but we still we still have body shamers. That shows that we haven't come a very long way from that. right? So social media, it needs to change. The standards need to change. For that, the awareness needs to be created, and we need to change the way we think about people's bodies. Because why do we always make it about appearance? What about the people's personality, what they can do, how intelligent they are, or what values they have in life?
True, true, true. Then, Ranjini, what about those adults who have been raised with these beliefs, who have grown up with these beliefs, and now, even if they're fit as people, they still believe that their bodies, there's something wrong with their bodies, and it's those beliefs which have been ingrained in them from childhood days. So now, as adults, what do you do to fix those beliefs and or remove those beliefs?
So, as I already said, you need to understand that it's not all about you. It's about the other person most of the time. So, and if you're in the mental space, if you have the mental space to tell somebody about it, you can just go ahead and confront them and tell them that it's not okay to make such comments. And if you find yourself weak and not being able to make such comments, it's okay too. Sometimes these comments can weaken you and put you down, kick you when you're already down. So it's okay when you don't feel like telling that person too. And you also need to understand that the person might not be knowing that they're doing it. Before internalizing something like that, you need to understand the person probably doesn't even know that they're doing it. You could take it as an opportunity to educate people about it. You can talk to someone who's really close to you. Putting these emotions in, putting it all inside, it's going to make it worse for you. So, talking to somebody you trust about it can help you in a lot of ways. You need to curate your social media, because we know what the things that we see on social media, and we need to curate it. And we only have to follow the pages or accounts that we want to see, that make us feel better about ourselves, so we can stop the self hate finally, and help ourselves. Or if you find yourselves or someone you love going through something like this, refer them to a therapist, right? It doesn't mean you can go around giving unsolicited advice to random people. If it's someone you love and trust, right? You go refer them to a therapist.
But in some cases, again, you could be a product of that environment. If everyone around me does unconsciously body shame each other, and I am a part of that culture which promotes, and there's so many mothers out there who have these teenage daughters, and they obsess about their daughters. They send them to gyms at the age of 13, 14, wanting them to have those perfect bodies, and then these girls want, stop eating. They have body problems and eating disorders. uh, so in those cases, sometimes, and at that age, you believe what my mom is saying is the right thing, what my parents are saying is the right thing, and they might not want to listen to anybody else. And it's a very difficult task for anybody to really convince such kids or get them out of a thing. What do you do? Is there a solution also, which we have right now? Which, I mean, how, where does the change start? Does it start with the mother first, educating the parents?
Change starts with awareness.
Hmm.
Only if more people educate themselves on it, we really can see a big change, because the body positivity movement has been here for decades now, and we still have body shaming. So the more we educate ourselves, the more we help create awareness, the bigger the change will be,
Yeah.
right? And also, people need to understand that fat is not a feeling. It's not a weight. It's not a feeling. It's not a behavior. So let me explain. Uh, Talking about the jokes that have been circulating, right? So, fat, when we say fat, we automatically associate it with a negative and ugly feeling, while it's not, right? Fat is not a feeling. Fat is not the weight on your scale. We've all seen pictures of people who weigh 50 kilos but look fatter than people who weigh 65 kilos and have a muscular body, right? So fat is not about weight. And fat is not about behavior, because when someone says fat, you associate it, most of us associate fat people with them just eating and sitting on their asses all day. Well, that's not the case. Fat people are also employed, they have their own stuff to do all day. So you can't associate fat with a feeling, a weight, or behavior. It's not a measure of body size, right?
Yeah. So I think it's how that word has become. It has such a negative connotation. In fact, fat is good for your body. If you just talk about in nutrition context, sugar is what is bad for your body. I'm just digressing, but because people think fat is bad, they stop consuming fat. But it's studies have shown that having ghee, butter, is good for your health. Having
There is good fat and then there's bad fat. So people who do not have any information, who do not possess any knowledge about nutrition or fitness,
yeah,
you have these gym bros, right, who just go to the gym all the time and they just eat what their dietitian or nutrition tells them to, and they think they know everything about fitness. That's not the case. The same food, we could all eat the same food and exercise the same and still look different,
true, true.
right? So we need to understand, we need to educate ourselves more basically on nutrition, on fitness. Before telling somebody else how to do it, we need to know if we know better ourselves.
True. Right. Uh, so, but these sometimes there's a lot of fat shaming for older people as well. So,
Mhm.
as you mentioned, how the social media content needs to be changed, what you're consuming needs to be changed, and I believe some kind of changes have been brought somewhere by these films which talk about balding, premature balding, or which talk about which has a protagonist who is a obese character, obese has a more body weight. So in those, I think that is important, I believe, and we need to talk more about issues which relate to fat shaming and body
Mhm.
weight in the content we are creating, we are giving out to people. They were takla and ganja were like terms which are used around in very commonly. So I think we need to normalize all these things with also the content we are creating. Yeah.
With body shaming, I feel people who are thin are also left out, because body shaming happens to people who are on the slimmer side too.
Mhm.
Right? There are comments being passed around like, eat a burger, or does your mom not feed you enough food? And stuff like that. Or saying stuff like, you're so lucky you could eat whatever you want and not gain weight.
True. But Ranjini, there must be times where we make some comments that could be body shaming, but we do not even realize it. So there are times when we unconsciously say stuff like, "Why don't you have a burger?" to a very thin person, or "Are you sure? Are you can wear this dress to the party?" to a person who might be overweight. So how do we personally be conscious and be more mindful of the fact about the comments we make, and not make it understand that we are doing a wrong thing at this point. And I do believe that a lot of it comes from the cultural milieu, the upbringing we have gotten, the things we have heard around us, and we normalize certain stuff. But how do you really be conscious about certain words you might be using, what to do in that situation?
First of all, any comment that you might be making based on somebody's appearance, don't do it. I think that's step one. You don't have to analyze whether it could be body shaming or not. If it has to do with somebody's appearance, don't say it. Right? You've heard the saying, if you don't have something nice to say, then don't say anything at all. I think you could apply that here. Why do we have to make it about appearance? Right? If you have something nice to say, just compliment somebody. But even complimenting has to change nowadays. Like, even saying that somebody looks good after they've lost a certain amount of weight makes the other person think that they were not enough when they were fat. And the sense of accomplishment and the self confidence only comes with shedding a few kilos. Well, that's not the case. We need to change the way we compliment. We need to change the way we talk to people about stuff like this. Right? So that's where it starts. You don't have to think about if it's body shaming or not. Just don't do it. Don't make the comment. Or right?
And I believe a lot of this problem arises from this concept of identities. So we start to identify with our bodies, and we get attached to it. In a similar fashion, we identify with many things. We identify with the car we drive, with the job we have, with the life partner we have. But we must realize that these are just identities we have given to ourselves, which gives us a sense of self worth. But basically we are not these identities. We are way beyond that. We are a spiritual soul. We are a consciousness. This is who we really are. So I think once you start to disassociate yourself with your bodily identity, these things stop affecting you that much, and you understand that your body is just a tool, a machine you have to navigate into this world, but it is not you. You are beyond that. I think that understanding also needs to be there, and there are many ways to do it. You can possibly meditate. You can connect with your inner self. So these spiritual practices also help go in a long way to help reduce the stress of getting body shamed. This body shaming stress basically.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. The moment we start seeing people for their beliefs, their ideologies, their personality, and not make it about appearance, it says a lot about who we are as people. And the way when our thinking starts changing and when we start educating people and creating awareness, everybody's thinking starts changing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can also educate kids, when they're kids, irrespective of them being a victim of body shaming or not. We can teach kids what their bodies do and what comments are okay to make and what comments are not okay to make. Right? So when we raise gender neutral kids, we're raising like a gender neutral, I'm sorry. When we raise a body neutral, when we raise body neutral kids, we're raising body neutral future.
Yeah.
So that's how we bring about the change.
So Rajni, last question. How can we be more body neutral as a society on the whole? How can we change the society, the people we live with, ourselves, and accept people for the way they are, the way they look, uh, appreciate the functionality of the body rather than the physical appearance of the body? So, any last thoughts on this?
The more, the more, the more you keep laughing about fat jokes, the more you make fat jokes, the more you laugh about them, the more these kind of pages and channels gain popularity. Curate your social media, realize that it's not all about you, and for general people, if you feel like you're making comment on someone's appearance, just don't make it. If it's nice, you could do it. Again, I've talked about how you could change the way you compliment. So if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it.
Perfect. Super.
Right?
Super. Brilliant. And I think, Ranjan, this was very beautiful. And I think anybody who watched this interview would really understand what body neutrality means and how we as a society can be more body neutral as people.